सत श्री अकाल once again to everyone, दोस्तों मित्रों बहनों bravo. Thank you very much for the amazing support from all of you and for forwarding the messages to all your loved ones and friends. So much of a warm response from all the recipients of the message. I wanted to add on a little bit before we move on to other topics in my video recordings, um, still pertaining to the crisis that we are confronted with. As you know, the numbers are going through the roof. There's a little bit more that we need to do for ourselves. The first round we talked about our immunity, why our immunity is the first line of defense. It's not the vaccination. The vaccination is supplementary. It's going to assist us. In the same way, we tend to look at the mask as the second line of defense, which it is not. It is also supplementary. Second line of defense is actually uh, physical distancing. Physical distancing, as Dr. Uma in India, I think she published a little letter, 2 paragraphs only, saying that all the lockdowns in the world, all the oxygen generators in the world, all the masks in the world, all the vaccines in the world, all is not going to solve our problem. That is good for the agencies, for the governments to implement all of that. That's at their level, that's their work. We also have our work to do, which is the first one was keeping a morale high. Keeping a morale high, we talked about the CKI for the Sikhs, the Chardikala index. We talk for the English-speaking community, the aliveness index, the alive. How alive do you feel? How enthusiastic do you feel about life? How excited are you to pursue your dreams, to pursue your aspirations, your ambitions, your passions? How your loved ones. How all of that put together is your aliveness index. How much self-worth you have attributed to yourself. So that is that is all important. So today I want to talk to you about two other things, which is basically one other thing. It's a physical distancing. Physical distancing is very, very important. So I'm going to, we can't avoid going out. All the MCOs in the world cannot keep us in the house. We still need to go and get our groceries. To get our groceries, we need petrol in the car. We might need money from the bank. We need to go to the ATMs. We may have other matters at other offices and whatever else which are urgent, which require addressing. Children are being born. People have to be people registering births and all kinds of things that that need to be done. You got a toothache, you need to go to the dentist. So this physical distancing is very important to be conscious of. It's hard to implement. It's hard to implement because we are not used to this. We are not used to telling people, hey, please stay away from me. We're not used to it. It's difficult. But the good news is that everybody is alert to this. Everybody is sensitive to this. That yeah. Oh, hang on, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm supposed to stay a little. So so this is important. This physical distancing, we need to be conscious of it all the time. So here we go. I would like to introduce an core. Okay. Circle of risky encounters. Circle of risky encounters. So imagine yourself, there is, they keep telling us, oh, at least 5 feet away from the person in front of you, or at least 8 feet away from the person in front of you, depending on whether they're wearing a mask, they're not wearing a mask and all that. Okay, this part you figure out. Okay, but important is staying that distance. If they're wearing a mask, you can be a little bit closer, but fact remains, physically, we need to stay far apart enough so that we don't expose ourselves. So the tough part is when you are meeting loved ones, relatives, close friends. Hopefully everyone is on the same page, and that's what this video is all about, is trying to get everybody onto the same page. We must appreciate we need to protect each other. It's not you're not carrying the bug. I may be the carrier. And if you come to visit me, you might pick it up. So I need for us to be separate. It's not I need to be separate from you because you might be infected. No. It's we need to be separate from each other because we don't know. And as I related an incident which happened in my own taman, which my own housing area, where family came down and there was loss of life and all that. It is simply because this rule was not observed, just because family was getting together. So here we go. We don't know where this bug is. We can't see it. We don't know where it is. It is appearing out of nowhere. And we are all hearing of cases where people are picking up from the most unlikely places, and likely places, hospitals. People are going for vaccination and picking up the bug, so stuff like that. So anyway, so that is one important thing. The physical that we need to worry about. We need to make people very, very sensitively alert that, hey, hang on, can we keep a little bit of distance when we talk? So this is important. One of the tricks is to take one step back. Not to put your hand out to someone, but maybe take a step back, and that suddenly triggers the other person to think, oh yeah, oh hang on, yeah, we're supposed to keep a little distance. So physical distance is our second line of defense. Physical distance. We must maintain that physical distance. Otherwise, the masks that we have, there's holes everywhere. You can still pick up things. Now, the other thing that we need to talk about today is the places where we are vulnerable. The places where we are vulnerable. Let's start with ATM halls at banks. Okay, ATM halls. Let's talk about malls. Let's talk about supermarkets. Let's talk about clinics, medical centers. Let's talk about. There are a ton of places where we need to go all the time, and some of these places, like especially the I had to withdraw some money. Somebody wanted some cash, and I needed to withdraw some money, and I went to my bank, and the ATM hall was just packed with people. It was a large hall, large bank, and this large hall, and it was packed. It was just after payday, and I remember as I was walking up to the bank, there was a huge commotion outside, and as I walked past, I was wondering what is this commotion about, and it was actually this wonderful Malay lady who was letting off because she was talking to a whole group of people and saying, what's going on in there, why are they're just jam-packed like sardines in there, nobody's bothering to observe any kind of physical distancing. Nobody seems to care, nobody seems to even be aware, of that. How are we supposed to? And true enough, when I went up to the door, I just walked away. I ran away from that place. It was crazy. Nobody seems to be aware, mask or no mask. Come on, if you are in a confined space, the air that is inside there is circulating. The air that what people are breathing out is going round and round and round and round and round. We need to be aware of that. We are not aware of that. We get into a cab. And off we go. Hey, God knows how many people have been sitting in that cab since morning. The driver doesn't drop the screens. That air is contained in a compartment. The persons who out of the 15 passengers you might have had since morning, 3 or 4 of them might have been infected, going to a hospital, or carriers, not knowing that they are carriers, and they could have exhaled, and that air is in there, and God forbid, the poor driver may not even know that and there you are, happily sitting there thinking you're safe just because you put on a mask. Just because you got a mask, you think you're safe. No, you have to breathe, and you're going to breathe in that air. Yes, X amount is going to come through the mask, X amount is going to get filtered through the mask. X amount is also going to come through all the little holes that are around you. You need to drop the windows when you get into a cab. You need to drop the windows. You need to tell the driver before you get into the cab, hey, I need to drop the windows if you don't mind. Otherwise, I'll take another cab. You need fresh air. We are being told again and again, open your doors, open your windows. When you have relatives come to visit, open doors, open windows, sit outside. Get into the fresh air. Get the air moving. Get the air moving. If you don't allow the air to move, as I'm exhaling, all the bugs are going to concentrate around me. My breath is going to just be around me. And this breath, if I sit in one spot long enough, it's going to contaminate the whole area. Lifts, You get into a lift with 10 people in there. All you need is one guy, the guy sitting next to you or the guy who coughed behind you, and that's all you need. So lifts are where again we are vulnerable. So it's important that when you get into a lift, be careful. Make sure there's only one or two persons. If possible, wait until you can go alone. May not be practical, but if you can, just tell 2, 3 people, hey, how about we split up and go in groups of 2, groups of 3. Work something out. We need this physical distancing. As I said, it's not as easy as I'm saying it. You know, but very many, more and more people are becoming receptive to these ideas because we all know that this is not a battle we can fight alone. We need to do this together. We need to do this together. And everyone knows that I need to do it for you and you need to do it for me. I haven't been anywhere, so I know I'm safe, but I don't know, you know. So we need to do it for each other, and everyone understands. So here, supermarket trolleys. You go into a supermarket, you grab a trolley. The last guy who has been coughing over it or handling it might be a carrier. You got to sanitize your trolley handle. Good idea if you can do that. You need toilets. When you get into a toilet, what do you have to do? You have to close the doorknob. Somebody may have touched that who may be contaminated. You need to flush. You need to wash your hands. So you wash your hands after. Oh, beautiful. Oh, lather and soap everywhere. Beautiful. Yeah, yeah. And then you turn off the tap. After you've cleaned your hand, you turn off the tap. And the tap, the last guy who turned off the tap had bugs on him. Okay? And he's left some behind for you. Thank you very much. So here we go. You need to wash down the little tap handle. Maybe while you're soaping your hands, you can wash down that handle. Just working it out of our head. So these are the things we can do. The lift button. Use your pen, use your car key, whatever. And then I even sanitize my car key after that. Okay? We just have to do everything, whatever we can imagine, because we are protecting the loved ones at home. We need to protect the loved ones at home. You don't want to bring something home. You don't want to bring uninvited guests home. So you need to do everything that you can. Toilets, escalator handrails. Escalator handrails. Stay off the handrail. Be ready to grab it in case the elevator stops midway. Sometimes they do that. But be ready to grab it. Have one hand ready. Be free, but don't touch it. Okay? So these are all the different areas. Petrol stations, notorious. Okay? You have to handle the nozzle. God knows how many people have handled the nozzle before you. You have to punch keys to get your petrol for your credit card, your password, and so on and so forth. Everywhere you have to touch this fingertip. Everywhere you have to touch this fingertip. Do something about it. Do something about it. I keep my sanitizer handy. I keep my door open if I can. I refuel. I sanitize first before I touch anything. I don't even touch my door hand. Don't even open my door before I sanitize my hands. So I'm doing whatever I can. No guarantee, but I'm doing what I can. I want to, before we end this, I want to share with you this little product. I don't know what it is. I'm not going to show you the brand name so that nobody can say that you are, this little gadget here, this little thing is a sanitizer little spray. Now you can see how small it is. It can fit into a gentleman's pocket. It can fit into a lady's purse. Keep this handy for the toilet knob that you are going to touch, for the tap that you're going to touch, for the escalator, for the lift, for the handrail of the trolley in the supermarket, for the fuel nozzle, for punching in keys, for your credit card, for the pen that was given to you by the lady at the bank to sign a certain document, and that pen has already been handled by 20 other people before you. So here we go. You need something like this. This is a brilliant line of defense. Keep it with you all the time. Get something like this. It's easily available in any of the drugstores. Okay, just squirt. You can see. Just squirt it onto your hands and you have sanitized. You've done something that is very, very important. So this gives you a lot of flexibility and a lot of safety and a lot of security. Not only you can use it for yourself, you may want to help someone else and say, hey, hang on, you just touched that thing, would you like, if it's an elderly person or someone who needs some, some guidance or some help. So this is very useful. Please keep this handy. I hope this message was important for you, relevant for you. CORE, circle of risky encounters. The core, like in a nuclear core, nuclear station, you don't go near the core, you get radiated. The same thing, stay away from the core. Circle of risky encounters. Keep your distance, encourage people around you to keep their distance, be sensitive to that, and uh, and do whatever you can to protect the people at home, because you yourself are part of the line of defense. And if we can do that, physical distancing, a little bit of sanitizing here and there as we go along, bit of mask, vaccine, everything put together, we may be heading towards a safer world, a healthier world. God bless all of you. Thank you very much for listening. And I should be coming up with some other topics in the near future. I'll keep this up. I tend to talk a lot about faith, and so hopefully we'll meet again. Thank you very much. Sat Sri Akal.